Call our council work session to order. Our first item of business is Nansemond Indian Nation update. Mr. Manager.
Yes, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, as you're aware, the Nansemond Indian Tribe received federal recognition as a nation in 2018. This afternoon's presentation will provide City Council an overview of the nation's current status, available resources, and goals. At this time, I'd like to call Chief Earl Bass to the podium to provide the presentation. Chief Bass.
Good afternoon, Mayor Duman, Vice Mayor Bennett, and council, city staff. It's a pleasure to be here, talk to you guys. It's really an honor. We haven't been here in a while, and it's really a pleasure to be here with you today. Going through our slides, our introductions, I have Assistant Chief Keith Anderson is here present with me. And some of the key points we wanted to go over, I'm taking my mask off, sorry. Some of the key points that we wanted to convey to y'all today is, first, city leaders of recent decades have known us as a tribe recognized by the Commonwealth. We operated in the form of a nonprofit organization and had few resources. That changed. We are pleased to reintroduce ourselves as a sovereign government, recognized by and with direct relations with the United States government. We now have access to substantial and growing resources. Second, something that is not new is that we've always contributed to the broader Suffolk community, that we continue in some ways, but will always evolve and increase our capacity. Third, while we have an affirmed government-to-government relationship with the United States government, and are strengthening our relationships with the Commonwealth, we would welcome to reimagine a government-to-government relationship with between the tribe and the city of Suffolk. When such relationships are purposeful in other communities around the U.S., they prove very beneficial. Oh, I went back. I'm sorry. So we descend from the original people from the city of Suffolk. Our tribe has been connected to this land and in its waters for centuries. We descend from one of the active Algonquin groups that is part of the Powhatan Confederacy, first encountered by the English colonists. In the 17th century, many Nansons lived in the northwest and southern branches of the Nansen River in modern day Suffolk and Isle of Wight. Our people were enumerated in the 1669 Virginia colony census of Indian bowmen. The tribe was a signatory of the 1677 Treaty of Middle Plantation between Virginia tribes and the King of England. Virginia represented our tribe in signing the 1722 Treaty of Albany, which resolved some disputes of Iroquois incursion into Virginia colony. Attempted erasure is our tribe faced many hardships after the English arrived. They were issued reservation land in Southampton County in the 1740s, but the expansion of Europeans into the territory forced us to forfeit that land and move multiple times. This forced us to live in the great Dismal Swamp to survive. And then the public policy in Virginia in the 20th century tried to erase our Native American identity. Walter Plecker, he was the first registrar of Virginia's Bureau of Vital Statistics, who served 34 years from 1912 to 1946. Succeeded in changing birth certificates of Native Americans from Native American to colored as part of a formal racial purity law. This practice significantly harmed our efforts to secure recognition by the federal government as an enduring Native American community. This is not ancient history. Elders in our community today live with vibrant memories of their treatment and the cost of the ability to secure education, jobs, health care based on their heritage. Sovereign people. This photo is from a recent roundtable with Senator Tim Kaine, during which he spoke about how securing federal recognition for the Virginia tribes 6 tribes was one of the proudest accomplishments of his career. Recognition at last is in 2018, it took a special act of Congress for the United States government to finally officially recognize our tribe as a sovereign nation. We are now one of 574 federally recognized tribal nations, 7 of which are based within the boundaries of Virginia. Our tribe currently has around 400 enrolled tribal members, most of whom live in Suffolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Norfolk, and Virginia Beach. Some examples of our new resources available. The federal government recognition of Native American tribes is an incredibly complex concept. I could make 20 presentations, still not cover the law and policy nuances, but for today I want to share 2 simple concepts. First is that the United States government recognizes our existence to exist as a sovereign entity with the power to govern itself and its people. Second, we now have access to numerous sources of federal financial resources which are already arriving. These include funds from the Bureau of Indian Affairs to provide for staffing, other operational needs. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and National Park Service provide funding for natural-related projects. The Environmental Protection Agency provides funds for substantial land and water initiatives. Road improvements through the BIA, Transportation, and the Department of Transportation. Indian Health Services provides funding for health services, and we also received substantial pandemic relief funding through the CARES Act, and we are expecting more through the American Rescue Act plan. Note that there are some also now programs available to non-native Suffolk residents. Just one example, there are tax incentives for businesses that locate near where tribes own land. New operational federal recognition has shown a stronger administration, as you can see with our organizational chart in this slide. Our goals, we have 4 public-facing goals going forward. Providing community outreach, for example, by providing water access through popular events like the Nansemond Indian Powwow. Expanding upon the public health programs and services we established during the COVID pandemic, which included facilitating vaccinations of tribal and larger community citizens. Developing environmental programs such as improving water quality and restoring the environment for oyster fishing. And offering more nuances, realistic, comprehensive, authentic experiences for tourists. Benefiting a larger community. I have more to say about these goals during our future discussions that we are planning with you about the future of Mattinock Town itself. But for now, suffice it to say that we are confident in the tribe's future plans for the property aligned with the Suffolk's 2026 Comprehensive Plan and Park and Recreation Master Plan for Lone Star Lakes Park, and that new federal funds will help support our initiatives. An energized partnership between the Nansemond Indian Nation and the City of Suffolk is what we have in mind. For those of you who may not be familiar with the decades of programming and services the tribe has rendered, here are a few. Our incredibly popular public powwow every year. Firebird Festival began in 2019, and that was started to teach the kids the SOLs, questions for Native Americans. And we also host through Isaac Walton League activities of the Nansemond River Preservation Alliance and Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. We've served Suffolk for decades, 30 plus years of our powwows. I said Firebird Festival started in 2019, working with Isaac Walton League, and answered basically the same thing I just talked about in the previous slide. But even during the pandemic, we purchased additional property at 2973 Bridge Road, known as the Village Church. We are now fixing up and preparing an additional site of public service and access. It has 16 acres and 2 buildings, on site. We've also purchased 3 townhouses for low-income tribal members. We've distributed vaccines to the public, supported expanded food pantry services. We've invested almost $100,000 to run high-speed internet to Monadnock Town. And as doing so, all the people on Pembroke Lane benefited by, they put a box in front of everyone's yard so that they could tap into high-speed internet and cable. We're also preparing to take possession of 504 acres in the driver section of the city by July. This one. Excuse me. I think I was doing too much talking and not enough of clicking on buttons here. Sorry about that. Okay, partner with us. What we can do to create and energize a mutually benefit partnership between the tribe and the city of Suffolk. Understand who we are and help your constituents understand. Educate yourself on how other communities in the U.S. are neighbors to federally recognized tribes. Build strong and respectful relationships. Help identify city resources that, when paired with tribal resources, are greater than the sum of the parts. Work with us to advance the usefulness of Monadnock Town as part of a larger effort. Here are some of the resources that we have on this slide. Help you understand the positive benefits to you and your mission for the people of Suffolk of building an energized relationship with our tribe. It's important for us to establish a government-to-government relationship with you. On this side, we can provide a few resources of how to build effective intergovernmental relationships with tribes. And in summary, I'll close where I began. We are an ancient people, but we have a new status, and we realize increasing possibilities for the future. We've long been a service to the city, and we expect to continue to, and also to evolve in that respect. Let's deepen our partnership so that we can understand how and our roles will evolve and the things we can do together to help support shared visions. I always tell people whenever Councilman Fawcett came to one of our meetings when we were trying to get Monadnock Town, and we gave a treasurer's report. And he said, "Y'all don't have no money. How y'all going to do anything out there? You don't have any money to do nothing with." He was right. We didn't. We were grasping for straws, trying to raise money. And one of the things with Monadnock Town, that was our Jamestown 2007 event. And at the time, we had plenty of opportunities to get financing, for the Jamestown 2007 event. Well, that kind of went away, and we didn't get the property until 2013. So all of those opportunities we had for funding, they evaporated. But now, with federal recognition, it's kind of funny when you go and check your checking account and the Treasury's put $3 or $4 million in your account. It's mind-blowing for us to learn that aspect of what we are actually getting from the government, what we can actually do with the funding that we're getting. So we just wanted you to know that, federal funding or federal recognition makes us a sovereign nation. So we're a nation within a nation. And if you, research that, but we still are from Suffolk, and we want to do everything we can with the city of Suffolk. We love Suffolk, and we want Suffolk to prosper. We want to be able to help Suffolk any way we can. One of the things I'm talking to Department of Transportation about roads, and hopefully we can work with your road department about improving like Pembroke Lane. They'll actually pay for 5 miles of road coming into our properties. So that's one of the things we're working on now with the BIA Transportation Department. So I guess that's all I got, but I'm open to questions.
Hey, thank you, Chief Bass. Council, questions or comments? Everybody good? Well, Chief Bass, thank you very much for your
I do see a lot of new faces on council, and it's nice to meet you, and hopefully that in the future we can share more with you. We do want to have a session to share with you about our plans for Monadnock Town. So that's a future, something we want to, but we just wanted today, we wanted to let you know what federal recognition means and what a sovereign nation means for us being in the city and how we can work together to make the city better.
Bass, I do have a few comments. Number one, I'm excited about, your new recognition and designation, because in the big scheme of things, it is larger than huge. It puts you in a position to have additional resources, and when you have additional resources, you have additional options. And I think you summed it up best in your summary. It says, let's recalculate our partnership for mutual benefit. And that's absolutely what it needs to be moving forward. We have a huge asset in Lone Star Lakes, Lone Star Park, adjacent to the tribal land. And I can see us partnering together to bring people to our city for educational purposes on your side and for recreational purposes, as well as for our citizens to use. But I'm looking forward to the partnership in that you are going to be able to bring a lot more to the table than I think was possible 10 years ago. And between the two of us, and you alluded to that also, we can get considerably more done forming a partnership. Then that gives our citizens a huge return on their investment as far as that land's concerned. And that's, I think, is the desire of everyone here on council, and to be able to provide a venue for our citizens. So I'm looking forward to further discussions, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with a plan that works for all.
So one of the things that you expounded on that was, we didn't want Monadnock Town for ourselves. We wanted it to share with the citizens of Suffolk and the surrounding community. It wasn't just about, we want this property so that we can have, we wanted the home so we could share it with the community. So that's what we're about, sharing with the community. And thank you all for having us, and I appreciate the opportunity to come before you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, our next topic will be spring and summer events, Parks and Recreation update. Mr. Manager.
Yeah, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, this will be a three-part presentation on the city's spring and summer events, including events by the library, tourism, and Parks and Recreation. At this time, I'd like to call the Director of Libraries, Clint Rudy, to the podium. Clint will be followed by Katie Kelly, Tourism Development Specialist, and then by Mark Furlow, Director of Parks and Recreation. We also give a little update on a couple of the projects that we have under construction also.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, Mr. Manager, thank you for this opportunity to share some of our upcoming classes and events for tourism, Parks and Rec, and the library. I thought it might be helpful first to kind of talk about how we got to what we're planning. And as soon as the pandemic happened and we had to shut down, we really tried to think strategically about what are the needs that the community wants, what do they need now, and how do we get that to them in a safe, socially distanced way. And so we immediately started our virtual classes and events, which may seem easy, but it's actually not. And we were one of the first libraries to do it in the area, and we actually, I'm proud to say, have libraries and other organizations from across the country contacting us to ask us how we did it and how we're doing it now. So really the point is that we want to try to meet the needs of the community, providing what they are asking for and what can help them, especially during the pandemic. So what we decided to do for these class events is kind of transition from only virtual to more in-person, socially distanced. So kind of have a three-prong approach where we're continuing some online, but we're also doing things in our great parks that we have in the city, as well as in our outdoor library spaces. So first, we have our Family Fridays at the park. So we do have events that are on Fridays, 10 to 1 at Bennett's Creek and Lake Mead Park. Socially distanced fun for families. We have early literacy, story times, games, other ways for families to get together. We also provide events for teens, which has always been a challenge, but especially in the virtual world. And so we're going to be able to do some things outside. Will be some sort of STEM-oriented activities, so making slime, cooking without fire, and STEM ice cream in a bag are a few of our themes. We're also continuing our annual Teen Lock-In, which will be totally virtual, but people will be able to pick up a packet for crafts and activities from the library beforehand so they can do them while we're doing the lock-in at the library virtually. We continue our English as a second language learner classes, and we're doing a mixer specifically for that. We have our Growing Up Kindergarten class, which is a 4-week session for parents or caregivers and their rising kindergartner to try to prepare them so that they're ready on day 1 of kindergarten. Our Summer Reading Challenge is really our flagship event. It covers the entire summer. The idea is for everyone to be able to expand their reading over the summer, but especially for children to help combat the summer slide between grades. Along with the Summer Reading Challenge, we do usually our activities, classes, and events. And so one of the things we're doing is our Camp Monday, and this will be a virtual session this year, and it will include presenters from Master Gardeners, Suffolk Mosquito Control, the NASA Skate Dames, Suffolk Art Gallery, and others. As we do every month, we provide classes and events recognizing specific topics and communities. And so for June, recognizing Pride Month, we'll offer several classes and events to provide information about the LGBTQIA+ community, as well as an opportunity to learn more. In addition, we're also offering several events to celebrate Juneteenth. And specifically, on June 19th, we'll have a celebration that will be virtual, but we are having a guest speaker to provide history about Juneteenth, the importance of the newly recognized holiday for the state of Virginia, as well as recitations and poetry. We're also continuing our very popular Explore Suffolk events. So we have 2 basic categories: our mystery box, which is on your own whenever you'd like to during the time period, compete by yourself or with your family to try to solve clues around the city. And we just finished up our Fine Art Filch, and we're going to be doing 2. One is Great Dismal Swamp, and the other one is Cosmic Summer. In addition, we're continuing our 6th annual Amazing Peanut Chase, and so this one is forming teams, but it's all on the same day. So you have one day where you're trying to compete against other teams to try to solve clues by traveling around our great city. In addition, we're partnering with the Suffolk Division of Tourism and the Suffolk Art Gallery for a Suffolk selfie search to try to get people out in the city and taking their best photos, selfie photos, and try to submit them to win prizes of different places in the city that they recognize and decided to take their photo in front of. We also are going to provide selfie kits at the libraries for checkout for people who may need them. So I hope that just shares a little bit about our approach to our classes and events and really trying to be listening, being proactive to needs, and pivoting when we need to. So thank you for your continuing support, and I want to introduce Katie Kelly from the Suffolk Division of Tourism.
Good afternoon. We've been working behind the scenes for the past few months, trying to make sure that everybody knows about Suffolk. It's a great place to be and a great place to work, and we have some really amazing events that are coming up this summer. First, we should start with the Suffolk, Virginia Farmers Market, and that is every Saturday from 9 to 1. It's going to be through November 20th. And this is at the Pavilion, which is right directly behind the Suffolk Visitor Center. We opened last week, and we had our best opening ever in 16 years of operation. Approximately 800 to 900 people showed up. So we have a lot of great enthusiasm for this really great program at Suffolk Tourism. First Saturdays at the market will feature live music, complimentary balloon creations, family activities, and a food truck, and also exhibits and special guests, including things like Suffolk Master Gardeners, certain authors, etc. So we're very excited about the farmers market. And from the team that brought you Suffolk Restaurant Week, we are introducing a brand new program. This is called Suffolk Sweets Week. We'll be partnering with citywide bakeries and restaurants to showcase the tastiest desserts that we offer. As you know, Suffolk has a phenomenal restaurant community, and we're doing everything we can to keep them excited and ready to go during this very difficult time. So from July 17th through the 24th, we will have several eateries that will be focusing on a variety of delightful temptations. We've already gotten some great feedback from the restaurants, and more details will be coming as soon as we possibly can get them. As always, we also offer guided tours. This summer, we'll be doing our Great Dismal Swamp guided nature walk, kayak tours to Lake Drummond, Nansemond River, Bennett's Creek, and Lone Star Lakes. We also have historic Suffolk guided walking tours, which include our very popular Legends of Main Street, a Suffolk Ghost Walk. If you've seen Kevin Sari walking down the street with a top hat, that's the one. We also offer the Cedar Hill Cemetery guided stroll, and then also a Hometown Heroes tour, which focuses on soldiers from Suffolk who perished in World War I and II. This is becoming a very popular tour. And brand new to our guides, to our guided tour schedule, is a Victorian burial practice. And this will also be a guided tour of Cedar Hill Cemetery. We'll also be presenting the Summer Family Movie Series at the Suffolk Cultural Arts Center. That will be the second Sunday of June, July, and August. June 13th, we'll be showing Addams Family. July 11th, we'll be showing The Secret Life of Pets 2. And on August 8th, we'll be showing Trolls World Tour. It's only $1 per person, and we've got a great theater that has seating for 500, so there's plenty of space for social distancing. And with that, I will leave with the ways that you can get in touch with us. Please definitely go to visitsuffolkva.com or reach out to us on one of our social media channels. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mark Verla.
Thank you, Kitty. So we at Parks and Recreation, I'd kind of echo Clint's sentiments. We have, the whole COVID pandemic has really been a challenge for us in Parks and Recreation, and our staff have really stepped up to the plate as far as getting programs and services. As many of you know, we shut down, the city shut down most of the buildings to the public sometime in March last year. We were told that on a Thursday or a Friday. By that next Monday, we had many of our fitness classes available online for participants to participate in their homes. We transitioned a lot of our programs and activities virtually, the ones that we could. We had our first virtual special event towards the end of March, our Arbor Day celebration. And then we were also some of the first facilities to open back up to the public. In June, our recreation centers opened back up to the public on a limited basis. The public could come back into our fitness centers. Shortly after that, we had Cypress Park Pool open to the public as well. That was in July. So every time the governor would comes out with a new executive order related to the pandemic, our staff sits down and looks at the order and really kind of takes a look at what we're able to, if there are any additional services that we can start providing again to the public. So we really try to stay on that and try to stay on the forefront of being able to open up as many services back to the public as we possibly can as the guidelines change through CDC and the governor. So, and we were able to provide our summer camp to kids last year on a limited basis. And so again, this year we'll be doing one of our most popular camps, our Planet Recreation Camp. That's for pre-K through rising sixth graders. This is an 8-week day camp, and it runs from 7 to 6, Monday through Friday, June 28th through August 20th. The program is held at Whaleyville Recreation Center and all of the joint use recreation centers at the schools. The program is designed for students in pre-K through 6th grades. Children participate in a wide array of recreational activities. And we're currently doing registration for that program. We also have our Discover Your Future camp, which is held at East Suffolk Recreation Center, and this camp is for 7th through 10th graders. It runs from 7 to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and it runs June 28th through the 20th. Teens can also, if they have a recreation membership, they can stay at the recreation center after 3 for open recreation. We're also continuing our CIT program. That's our counselor and training program. This is a volunteer program for teens ages 14 through 17 looking to gain volunteer hours that they can apply to our counselor and training program online. These teens get real work experience, learn about community service, and gain volunteer credits that can be used for graduation. CITs work along regular paid staff in all of our summer camp programs. We also have some specialty camps that we'll be bringing back this year. We have our Outdoor Explorers Camp, which runs August 19th through the 23rd and August 26th through the 30th at Sleepy Hole Park. We have our art camp, which we hold at the Suffolk Art Gallery, August 19th through the 23rd and August 26th through the 30th. We do our Hook a Kid on Golf program at Sleepy Hole Golf Course, and that's for ages 7 to 15, July 19th through the 23rd. And then we have our popular Hoops for Life program that we run at Kings Fork Recreation Center that will be, we'll have 4 sessions from June 28th through July 9th and another 4 sessions, July 26th through August 20th. Participants learn to improve basketball skills while addressing important life lessons and values. We'll also be bringing back our Therapeutic Camp, which is called Camp Limitless. It's offered for youth ages 6 to 21 with special needs. The camp is offered at Planners Club in northern Suffolk, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Campers are allowed to flourish in a structured environment while feeling comfortable and secure. We've also got a lot of outdoor programs right now. Coming up on May 15th, we have our Bird Watchers program, which is held at the old driver transmitter site. We have our outdoor fitness classes, which will be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays, May through August at Bennett's Creek Park. And we have our popular Galaxies Night Hike at Lone Star Lakes Park, which will be held on June 11th. And we are also doing outdoor recess. If you're looking to get your kids away from the screens for a little bit of time, this is a great program. It's for kids. We have two sessions, one for kids ages 7 to 11 and one for ages 12 to 16. We have a session that will be held on May 26th and 27th at Lone Star Lakes Park, and then we'll have another session in June on the 8th and 10th held at Sleepy Hole Park. Looking to get out in the water and get some exercise, we're offering a Canoe Clinic for youth to learn how to canoe safely at Lone Star Lakes Park in July. For adults, we have a kayak tour of Cedar Creek on June 19th, a canoe trip on the Nansemond River on July 16th, and parents can celebrate Parents' Day with a paddle at Crumps Mill Pond on July 25th. The department also offers opportunities for open recreation at various times at 2 standalone recreation centers. Schedules are posted at the sites for open rec and at the Cypress Park Pool Tuesday through Sundays beginning June 20th. The pool will be open on weekends after Memorial Day up until June 20th. We wait until school gets out before we open the Tuesday through Sunday. There's also transportation available for students to be able to get to the pool. Suffolk Transit, the pool and the East Suffolk Recreation Center are both stops on Suffolk Transit's bus system. Students can ride one way for $1, or they can ride all day for $2. We're also offering outdoor yoga at Bennett's Creek Park on Saturdays, May through August, and we'll be offering paddleboard yoga at Lone Star Lakes Park on Saturdays and Sundays, May through August. Our popular swim lesson program will be held at Cypress Park Pool beginning on June 26th, running through August 6th, and that's for ages 5 through 12 and 13 through 17. We'll be holding our archery clinic at Sleepy Hole Park August 2nd, 4th, and 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. We're really excited this year to be bringing back some special events. This year we're planning on having our Tgif concert series back at Constance Wharf and at Bennett's Creek Park. We also have a drive-in movie at Bennett's Creek Park on May 8th, and we're also planning another movie in the park at the Holland Ball Field on August 28th. So for the TGIF concert series this year, we're planning to, the plan is to put, we plan on adhering to all the guidelines in the governor's latest executive order. Citizens will be asked to pre-register for the concerts online to ensure a space and asked to wear a mask at the event. Large circles will be painted in the field and spaced appropriately. You'll be able to set up your blankets and chairs in your own circle and enjoy the concert in a physically distanced space. For more information on any of these programs, you can go to the city's website or contact Parks, Recreation, Tourism, and libraries at the numbers listed above. You can also pick up one of our program guides at one of the libraries or one of the recreation centers, and it's also available online at the city's website. So the next portion I'll be giving council, I'll be giving you an update on some of the capital projects that Parks and Recreation has going on right now. So the first I'll be talking about is Bennett's Creek Recreation Center. As many of you know, we're in the construction phase of that right now. The contractor is currently working on stabilizing the foundation, and we anticipate opening the center in late winter, early spring 2022. We're hoping this time next year we'll be out at Bennett's Creek Recreation Center cutting a ribbon. The Suffolk Seaboard Coastline Trail, Segment 2. The trail is, this is the section that runs behind the food line on Portsmouth Boulevard. It goes from Suburban Drive to Nansen Parkway. The trail is substantially complete. We're waiting to take possession from the contractor so that we can install some of the site amenities like trash cans, a pad for portable restrooms, and bike repair stations. So that should be opening soon. The Blackwater River Park. We're waiting for notification from the Land and Water Conservation Fund on a grant the city applied for to match funds that the city was awarded through the Land Conservation Foundation. If you remember, the city applied for 2 grants for funding to purchase the land for this project. The 2 grants would match each other to allow us to purchase the land. And those funds will be used to acquire about 350 acres of land. Approximately 200 acres of the southern piece of the property would be deeded over to the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation to expand their South Key Sandhills Natural Area Preserve. The remaining 150 acres would be developed into a city park with paddlecraft access to the Blackwater River. Constance North Park. Constance North Park is currently finishing up the design phase of the project. We anticipate submitting the site plan to the Planning Department for review this month. Additionally, we have replaced 3 playgrounds at various parks throughout the city. Most of our playgrounds were put in back in 2000, 2001, and playgrounds generally have a useful life of about 20 years. So we're at the period of time where it's just time to start replacing all those playgrounds that were put in back in 2000, 2001. And so that we don't have such a big chunk at once, we've taken the decision to try and replace about 3 a year. That seems to be more manageable. What we do is we have a certified playground inspector that goes out every year, inspects the playgrounds and prioritizes them. It comes back with a list to us so that we can take a look at them, and then we prioritize the playgrounds that are in the most need of replacing. So this year we've replaced the playground at Mary Estes Park, and we've also done the one at Lake Kennedy Park and Sleepy Hole Park. So if you get a chance and you're in the area and you want to check out the new playgrounds, all three of the playgrounds I think came out very nice. We've also in the process of putting in some new basketball courts. We completed a new basketball court at Magnolia Park. You see there's a couple of kids already out there practicing basketball. We're also working on a new basketball court at Colburn Park, which was funded through a grant from the Ovasi Foundation. And that's it for my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I believe Clint and Katie are here for questions too.
Council, Fawcett.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm glad you got to the Sleepy Hole Park playground because that thing was disastrous.
Yeah.
I made a couple of complaints about the sliding boards and things out there, so I've got a lot of feedback that they really love the amenities and what is improved out there, and them being patient, the citizens got us where we're at. So thank you, your Parks and Rec, and everybody that's doing such a great job. So I appreciate it.
Councilman Williams.
That's a great presentation.
Thank you.
Park and Rec is doing a lot, and it's welcoming. The citizens really appreciate what you're doing, what your staff is doing. Just want to commend you on that. Have one question. As it relates to the bus fare with Suffolk Transit. I understand there's $1 one way, $2 two ways, but will a citizen be offered a seasonal pass? Is that something that?
There's a monthly pass that citizens can purchase, but I think that they had actually waived the fees for public transit. I'm not sure where they're at right now with that. I don't know if they're still in that process or. I don't know. But I do know that during regular times there is a monthly pass that riders can purchase too. It provides some savings if you do that.
We'll follow up and bring that information back on the passes for you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of questions. On the trails, I know you are in the process of finishing up from Suburban Drive over to Nassman Parkway, which is very nice, and I've seen people start using it already.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Are you planning to do a ribbon cutting or anything on that?
Yeah, at this point, we're just waiting for the contractor has a punch list that they're trying to knock out, and once they've completed that, then we have some site amenities that we'll install, and then our plan is to hold a ribbon cutting after that.
Okay, my other question, what is the next section of the trail that is planned?
So right now, we have funding in place for segment 1, which will go from the trail that goes behind the Hilton Garden Inn, behind the Cedar Hill Cemetery. It will connect that to Suburban Drive, and we have a Smart Scale grant. And the funding for that doesn't become available until 2024, but that will most likely be the next section that we work on, unless funding becomes available for another section sooner. we're always looking for grants and funding opportunities. So if something else pops up and we're able to start another section sooner, we'll definitely do that. But right now, that is the next section that we have funding in place for.
Okay, because it will supposed to be continued until it's all the way to the Chesapeake line, am I correct?
Yeah, so after segment 1, then we would also need to do segment 3A and 3B. And 3A will go from where the segment 2 drops off at Nansen Parkway and go all the way up to about where the high school is. And then segment 3B will go from the high school to Driver, where the trail is. And we applied for a Smart Scale grant for section 3B, and we scored pretty well for that. So it looks like we'll probably get funding, a Smart Scale grant for that section 3B as well. It's just that no awards have been made yet for that, though.
One other comment and a question. On the summer activities, you put a lot there before us, and I know there's a lot of activities for kids during the summer.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering how the families or people with children are going to be able to know about all this activity. I know where you said you had brochures and sites they can go on, but there are a lot of people that probably will not be familiar or able to go on the sites and get the information, or might not be going the way you might have your flyers at.
Sure. So we also put a lot of information on our social media pages, and we do some advertising with the Suffolk News Herald, and we try to get those, we get information out to some of our past participants. So if you're in our programs currently, you have an opportunity to get some of our program guides during that too.
Okay, and if it's possible, I just ask for myself, I don't know about other council members, we could get a copy of those, of his presentation with the dates and the times and ages and all that. So if I'm asked, my travel, some question about it, I would have something that I can refer to and not try to remember all the information that you gave us. Okay.
And most of those programs, and I believe I'm speaking for Katie and Clint, are all listed in the program guide that we put out for the summer too.
Okay.
So that's another really good resource.
Okay.
For getting the information.
All right, thank you.
Goldberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Mark, and libraries and tourism, y'all have a massive schedule going on, and I think the citizens should really appreciate all the efforts been put in and all the activities that are there. No one should complain about of activities from the city. I've never seen anything like this before, and I want to commend all y'all for your efforts and what you're doing, and I think it's great for the program, and I'm glad we're bouncing back and making it happen. So I thank y'all very much for your efforts to make all this work. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, I know you got Magnolia Park. I just wanted to know that what is the procedure for us to go to name that park or the court? I don't know if you recall a young boy got killed in College Drive playing outside by a tractor trailer, and they were instrumental, I think, that I asked, can we put a park out there? So is there any special thing we have to do, just put a name the court, not the park, but the court that?
Councilman, we have a policy that we can get you a copy of that council adopted a few years ago on naming facilities and parks, so we can get you a copy of that. It'll lay out the requirements and procedures for naming facilities.
Okay. And another thing, I noticed that the Dismal Swamp, them the only 3 dates y'all have?
For the Dismal Swamp.
Yeah, you got May 8th, May 12th, I think, then the 23rd. That's the only dates I see there. I mean, it's all through the summer, because I know the mosquitoes and all that stuff might be bad back in them days. I don't know why you just got it in May. You got it beyond May?
Is that one of the tours?
Yeah, the tour, yeah.
I'm not sure which. I don't think we have Parks and Rec has any programs in the swamp.
It got Suffolk Tourism. And it got Dismal Swamp, Great Swamp. You got days up there.
Yes, Yes, we usually just do the nature walk in May and June. Then things get a little crazy as far as the weather is concerned, so we usually stop for July and August, and we'll probably start those back up in the fall when it gets a little cooler. But all of our tours are listed on our website at visitsuffolkva.com, so if you have anything that you're looking for specifically, definitely give that a look. Or give us a call, and we can give you the information you're looking for.
All right, thank you.
Else?
I got one, man.
Thank you. I believe the city manager's handing out a program guide. Mark, Clint, Katie, thank you for what I consider to be a very impressive presentation. I had no idea that this much not only had been going on in our city during the COVID, but what you have planned for the summer is just phenomenal. And I know it's been a fluid situation, and it's going to continue to be a fluid situation depending on the course of COVID-19, what the governor's guidelines are going to be. But you have adapted just unbelievably to COVID-19 and continue to provide services and programs and amenities for our citizens even during this time. And I know I greatly appreciate it, and I'm sure our citizens do also. So keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our work session items for this evening. Madam Clerk, I understand we have a motion for a closed meeting this evening. Will you please present the motion for consideration?
Pursuant to Virginia Code Sections 2.2-3711, A8 and A1, consultation with legal counsel employed by a public body regarding specific legal advice, specific legal matters requiring the legal advice of such counsel, and the discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for appointment and the assignment, appointment, and performance of specific public officers or appointees of the city, specifically the appointments as shown on the attached list for vacancies or term expirations for the Early Childhood Development Commission, the Economic Development Authority of the City of Suffolk, the Human Services Advisory Board, the Local Board of Building Code Appeals, the Planning Council, the Virginia Municipal League Policy Committees, and the Wetlands Board.
Council, motion's been presented. Councilman Foster with a motion, Councilman Goldberg with a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Butler Barlow.
Yes.
Councilmember Fawcett.
Yes.
Councilmember Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilmember Ward.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bennett.
Yes.
Mayor Duman.
Yes.
The motion is approved by a vote of 7-0.
That concludes our work session, and we will reconvene at 6 p.m.